I didn't know that.
It's in one of the Carolinas. It's either North or South Carolina. There was a English ship torpedoed just off our shore, and most of them was killed on that. And they have their own little small graveyard over here. I wish I could remember what the name of the town was, but I just cannot tell you. My mind's shot, I think.
No, I have to tell you my story. I came back when I was in Hawaii, over there at Pearl Harbor, Hickam Air Force Base. That's where we have our central identification lab. So all the remains that we find throughout the world, they all go to that central identification lab where they do, they have all the scientists
DNA and
check DNA and identify the remains.
Yeah.
And so I was over there, and when I flew back to the States, we flew into all the way to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport.
Okay.
And while I was on the plane coming across the ocean, there was one guy on the plane in full military uniform. And I just thought he was somebody in the military flying with his uniform on.
Yeah.
When we got to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, as we're taxiing up to the gate, the pilot came on the intercom and said, "Folks, we have a special passenger on this flight." And he said, "This fallen Korean War veteran, Captain Hallis." And he said, and that guy that was in the uniform, that was the escort. And so the escort, if you know what they do, and considering that we were coming from the Central Identification Lab in Hawaii, it shouldn't have been a surprise to me. I should have figured that out. But that escort, he stays right with that body. If that body's in a hangar overnight or 2 nights, that escort stays right. It doesn't leave that body. Well, we got there to
Essentially guard.
That's right. And the pilot said, "Please don't get up out of your seat in a hurry. Out of respect for this fallen soldier, wait until the family accepts the remains." And it so happened I was on the right side of the airplane.
Yeah.
When we went up there, I saw there was an honor guard and the family members there to accept the body.
Yeah.
It was so touching, you know, very emotional. And when I went into the airport, that gate that we were at, that was the only gate in that whole airport that had a POW flag. It said, "Bring them home." And my guess is that every time they return somebody to Dallas-Fort Worth, that's the gate they go to where the families receive the remains and all that.
Probably off a little bit from the biggest.
Yeah, it's like at the end of a wing. Yes.
Yeah, I figured they kind of have it sort
But that
of
was
isolated.